to play your best golf. Featuring special guest instructor Bob Toski, Dean of Golf Instruction, Golf Digest Instruction Schools. Peggy Kirk-Bell, a founding member of the LPGA and one of the best women golf teachers in the world. Rod Myers, director of the golf program at Duke University. Guest instructor Jim Flick, author and director of instruction, Golf Digest Instruction Schools. Carol Johnson, LPGA Teacher of the Year and a member of the National Golf Foundation teaching staff. Coach Conrad Railing of the University of Alabama. And series host Gary Wyron, author, teacher, and director of learning and research for the PGA of America.
Mastering the principles of a good golf swing is the foundation for playing your best golf. Take a look at the swings of these famous golf professionals. Each is distinctive, yet each one is successful because they all apply the same basic principles of a good swing. Understanding the principles is the first step to playing your best golf. Your golf swing will improve in direct proportion to the amount of time that you spend on mastering the basics. Golf is a target game. And if we're going to get the ball from the spot you're starting to that target, it's important, of course, that you can control distance and direction. As we start this series, we feel that you should know there are 5 laws of ball flight. Those factors which influence, which cause the distance and direction to happen. The first one is clubhead speed. Obviously, clubhead speed has a great deal to do with the distance you're going to hit the ball. Centeredness is also an important part in how far you can hit a golf ball. If I hit a shot, for example, 250 yards for a drive, but in this case, instead of hitting in the center, I hit it a ½ inch off center, I would lose some 35 to 40 yards in distance. So centeredness plus speed are the factors which produce distance for you. There are only 2 factors which influence the direction or shape that a ball takes. Those are the path in which the club head is swinging when it makes contact with the ball and the face position when it makes contact with the ball. The path can either be going directly to the target, it can be going from the outside to the in across the line, or from the inside to the out across the line. The face positions are 3 also, either open, square, or closed. When you put those in conjunction with each other, if the path is straight but the face is open, it puts a glancing blow which causes side spin and fades or slices the ball. If the face is closed to the line on which you're swinging or the path, then it will cause a spin that goes from right to left or a hooking type shot. It's really a matter of geometry. The lines of path and face related to one another are the things that cause the ball to go where it goes for direction. The last of the laws is angle of attack. How many times have you hit a tee shot where you've made a swing and you've popped the ball almost straight up in the air where you could feel like you could reach out and catch it on the way down? Well, that's a swing that has a very sharp descending blow. You came sharply down on the ball, hitting too quickly from the top, got the ball up high on the club face and popped it up in the air. That would be a nice shot for a wedge over a bunker, but it's not so good for a drive. So those are the 5 ball flight laws: angle of attack, the face position at contact, the path, the centeredness of the hit, and the club head speed. The study of the golf swing is a fascinating science, but you know there are some very important things that have to happen before that swing ever starts. We call them pre-swing principles. We look at things like grip, aim, and setup before the swing motion ever gets going. If you were to take a lesson from Jim or myself or your professional, the first thing we would look at would be grip. No lesser player than Ben Hogan once said, "Good golf starts with a good grip." And that's where we're going to start.
Your hands are your only connection with the golf club. Here's a tip that you might use to create consistency in placing your fingers around the golf club. Hold the shaft parallel to the ground about waist height with your right hand, making sure that the bottom line of the golf club is vertical to the ground. You might improve your consistency factor by marking your glove in a manner that will encourage you to get the club underneath the butt pad of the left hand, running diagonally beneath that into the second joint of the index finger of the left hand. That will allow the left thumb to slip slightly to the right center of the shaft of the club and enabling you to see two knuckles on your left hand. Then slide your right hand up the shaft carefully, keeping the club in the fingers of the right hand, using the lifeline of your right hand to cover your left thumb. In checking the placement of your fingers around the golf club, you would want to sole the club behind the golf ball, and then your checkpoint would be to make sure that the V formed by the thumb and index finger of the left hand and the right hand are pointing to a spot between your chin and your right shoulder. And I'd like to remind you, the golf club only weighs 16 ounces, so we don't need to strangle the golf club to keep it under control. If you are gripping the club so tightly that you cannot feel the weight in the head of the golf club and you only feel the grip end, I can assure you it's much too tight. We need to have sensitivity as we swing the club around our body, and the placement of our hands and fingers around the golf club will encourage that sensitivity to increase. A check that you might use to measure the pressure with which you are holding the club and the flexion in your hands, wrist, and forearm is what we call our vertical hammer thrust. You ought to be able to get some flexion in your hands, wrists, and forearms as you're moving the club around, and almost be able to get a vertical hammer motion where you can feel the movement in the head of the club and responding to your hands, wrists, and forearms to create the feel and movement of the golf club.
Anyone can shoot a rifle, but it takes a marksman to be able to hit a target, because a marksman needs to be able to aim. It's the same way in golf, because golf is a target game. The tour player probably appreciates this principle more than any other one, being able to aim his body and his club face.
My teaching experience leads me to believe that a vast majority of golfers are careless in the alignment of their club face and or their body alignment to our target line. We've set up a situation here with some tape on the ground running to our ultimate target, the tree down there in the distance, to help you create an imaginary target line as you practice a routine that will give you some consistency. We see one of two mistakes in the average golfer. He either sets up with his shoulders far to the left, promoting an outside-in swing with a very glancing blow, or we see the other mistake being aimed to the right and then encourage an outside-in swing again to pull the ball back to the target. Both create weak type of golf shots. To do a routine consistently, I would suggest that you walk behind the ball, getting the player, the ball, and the ultimate target in line. Then selecting a few feet in front of the ball, a broken tee or a piece of grass, an intermediary target on your target line. Then fixing your eyes on the intermediate target and the ultimate target, carefully place your club face behind the golf ball, tracking your eyes through the intermediate target to the ultimate target. Then building your stance of your body alignment to parallel your target line or to encourage the correct swing path, putting your feet in line with the path that you desire to create and making it very easy to get a swing on the right swing path to your ultimate target.
Coach Conrad Railing will help you learn to get your body and the club face aimed properly.
And in this particular drill, we're talking about the path of the club, and we've utilized two 2x4s, which shows us the target line, which is the right track, and the left track is what we call the footpath, and our body is parallel to it. So in this drill, we simply put the club down. We must return the club so the club face is square to the target line, and this 2x4 gives me a very good idea of whether or not I'm going down the target line. If the club is turned in or if the club is turned open, we certainly can't get the ball to the target. Now all we need to do in this drill is simply take the club back and make a small swing at first. We don't want to take a full swing right away, but we can learn how to get the path of the club to the target.
The third of the pre-swing principles is called setup. It includes your body posture, or how you stand to the ball, the relationship of the ball placement to your feet, forward, middle, or back, the distance you stand from the ball, all of these factors, so that when you do make a good golf swing, the ball will be where that swing is at the bottom when it makes contact.
To build a consistent posture and setup, it's important that we take the grip that we have now created correctly, place the club behind the golf ball, identifying our target line. Then you wish to hang your arms to your club to accommodate a position, giving you the arm freedom to let your arms suspend and hang softly from your shoulders. After you have placed your club and arms in position, your body will accommodate your arm hang, and finally adjust your feet for width of stance and ball position. We would encourage you to bend from the hips, keeping your back straight but tilted, and you will feel as though your chin is up to see your golf ball through the bottom of your glasses if you're wearing them, but your head will feel tall. You will feel as though you are supporting yourself in the back of your legs and thighs to accommodate a small amount of knee flex, approximately 3 to 4 inches, to give you a springy feeling in your legs. A drill that you might enjoy working with to identify the correct posture, weight distribution, and athletic position of your feet and knees would be a heel tapping action to give you that springy sensation that all good athletes have.
Grip, aim, setup, the pre-swing principles. You're now in a position to make the golf swing much easier. What is a swing? What does a swing feel like? Well, if I were to take this club and simply let it swing back and forth, there are some characteristics that I note. One, that I feel the weight of the club head. The second one is that there's some centrifugal force produced as I start to increase the speed. I will feel a pulling away out on the end and the weight of the club being swung. This comes primarily through the hands. It's the feeling in the hands and the feeling of the head out there through the hands. The hands are not so much producers of power, they're transmitters of power. And that swinging motion comes through the hands, transmitted by the arms, and then the muscles of the back, and finally the legs. It's a lot like other sports where we throw or strike. If I have a baseball swing and simply took a golf swing and put it up in the air more in baseball fashion and wound up and unwound, I would find that that would be very much like a golf swing feeling. The weight going to the right foot on the back and forward to the left foot on the through. A wind up and an unwind feeling. It's almost as if you were going to wind, unwind, and let her go, like this. That's the sensation you have as you make a swinging motion.
If you think about the parts of your body, the limbs are the parts that allow you to create a swing. I'd like to break the swing down into its 3 components. The first being the speed producers. The second component, which is the swingers, or the transportation for your speed producers. And we need to bring in our third element, and that is the pivot. I like to think of the hands, wrists, and forearms as your speed producers. The small muscles and bones of the hands, wrist, and forearm allow us the flexibility to create speed. We need to develop the ability to swing your arms around your body while the wrists are cocking. Swing down and strike the ball while the wrists are uncocking and releasing, and to recock over on the other side of your swing. This is the very heart of the golf swing. A drill is very important there. is a drill that we call the tee to re-tee. It's not a very long swing. You're not trying to hit your ball very far, but you will swing back to almost waist high and feel the end of the shaft or the tee pointing to the golf ball. Let your arms swing down and rotate to square the club up while your wrists are uncocking and swinging over to the forward side of your body where the tee will be pointing back to the golf ball. This is a mirror image of the backswing and the forward swing. So we now need to think of the second component, which is the swingers, or the transportation for our speed producers. And to accomplish that, we need to now use our upper arms and our shoulders to move our speed producers around to the side of us and to the side of us, and get the feeling that we are swinging the club freely with our upper arms from our shoulders. There is a drill that will impart that feeling to you. We have you stand on your right leg and cross your left leg in front of you, and then to get the feeling that you are making the club move with your swingers up, behind your body, around, and strike your golf ball. But we need to lengthen out our arc now, and we need to bring in our third element, and that is the pivot. The pivot will allow your arms to swing behind you, through the ball, and in front of you. And to create the right pivot, we need the feet and legs to turn the hips. That gives us a sense of balance and a sense of rhythm between our lower body and upper body. A drill that you might find fun to work on for the responsibility of your feet and legs to create a pivot and give us a weight shift is what we call our baseball drill. You take your regular starting position, aiming your club down your target line, then pull left foot to right foot, club in front of your eyes. Swing to the top, step through, and swing through. The step before the swing, so you will feel the roll and support of the feet and knees to allow the arms to again stay free and the active release to come from the inside.
These are the three swing components. Each component has a responsibility in the overall development of the golf swing.